Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Fast Five. I'm Scott, that's Jay. Let's get right to it.
Question number 1.
The New Orleans Saints fell to 4-8 last Sunday in a heartbreaking loss to the undefeated Carolina Panthers. Plenty of blame going around, with the most falling on Brandon Brown. Should he receive the most blame?
Sure, why not? I mean, there's plenty enough blame to go around, as the man just said. And at the same time, the guy is having an inordinate amount of penalties. He's going off on media people in the locker room on questions that are not even being asked to him. They went out and they made a big deal over this signing. It hasn't been a good one, and yeah, let's go ahead and heap it all on him. He deserves it.
And how about the guys that signed him? Mickey Loomis to that deal. The coaching staff were saying, go out and spend the little money we have on this cat. Are you kidding me? What an awful signing. They probably should cut him, but it's going to cost them another $6 million dead money the next 2 seasons. Oh, they already have a lot of dead money because of Junior Gillette. He said it. There's plenty of blame to go around, but man, is this cat just bad news for the Saints.
Question number 2.
Raging Cajun running back Elijah McGuire just finished his junior season. According to Coach Mark Hudspeth, he'll test the waters of the NFL draft and decide next month whether or not to forego his senior season. What should Eli do?
Eli should do what's best for Eli. He tests the waters and he likes the news he gets back. Kid, do what's best for you. Now, you look at another Cajun sport, Cajun basketball. Sean Long kind of tested the NBA waters and realized, I should probably come back. And I think his draft stock is going to improve as a result. Wasn't Eli's best season. He did show a lot this year. Reminds me a lot of Giovanni Bernard for the Bengals. But in the end, Eli should do what's best for Eli.
Yeah, I'm with Scott. There's nothing wrong with testing the waters. Heck, when you take a bath, you test the waters. You want to see if the water's too hot or if the water's too cold.
When was the last time you took a bath?
That would be this morning. But really, there's nothing wrong with doing this. In fact, it's a pretty good idea to go ahead and find out exactly where you stack up right now. Find out the things you need to get better at, and if it's going to benefit you to come back for your senior season, you do it. But if it's time for Eli to go, thanks for the memories, Prophet. You the man. We love you.
Question number 3.
Bowl season is about to begin. What's the most intriguing bowl to you?
I'll tell you what, there are a few bowls that are intriguing besides those big 6 that everybody's going to be talking about ad nauseum between now and January the 11th. But there are 2 in particular. One's the Miami Beach Bowl, where you've got Western Kentucky, who won Conference USA, and South Florida. South Florida's head coach, that would be Willie Taggart, who used to be at Western Kentucky.
Oh, Bill Tagg.
And played quarterback for Western Kentucky, and he's got his number hanging at Smith Stadium in Bowling Green. That one is intriguing, and boy, the New Orleans Bowl is going to be interesting too. You've got Arkansas State, very good offensive team, taking on Louisiana Tech, very good offensive team. And we know the story of Louisiana Tech. In 2008, they did everything they could not to play the Cajuns. Then they would rather turn down a bowl bid rather than play ULM. Now they're playing somebody from the Sun Belt. Hook it up, guys. Hook it up.
Yeah, no pressure. I'm sure the fans are thrilled. Well, he said ad nauseum. I'm going to mention one of those big 6. Capital One Orange Bowl. It's one of the 2 college football playoff games. Oklahoma-Clemson, most intriguing for me. I'm not a fan of either team. Clemson, the number 1 team in the country, a 2.5-point dog. They're kind of getting overlooked here. Folks are going with a safer bet. That one to me, I think, is most intriguing when I look at all the bowl matchups.
You know what, dude? That's got a potential to be an awfully good football.
Oklahoma.
Awfully good football game.
Clemson. That doesn't work for Clemson.
No, it doesn't work for Clemson.
Question number 4.
Oh. Can you hold that one?
I can do a Yoko Ono invitation.
Oh,
you want to hear? No, never mind.
Don't do that.
Never mind.
Don't do that.
The first quarter of the NBA season has ended. What's the best story and what's the most disappointing story?
Best story is probably Golden State. They hadn't lost yet. Steph Curry's playing out of this world. Hate to say it, most disappointing story is the Pelicans. It's the injuries, it's the lack of ball movement, it's the poor defense, it's one night they're playing a good team, they bring the energy, oh my God, they can beat the best in the league. Next game, they could be beat by the worst team in the league. This is not the team that a lot of sports writers voted to be the most entertaining to watch this season. A quarter of the season into it, they certainly have been. Sure hoping I say something different when you ask me 3 quarters of the season.
The biggest story, yeah, I'll go with Golden State. I mean, my goodness, they're 23-0. The biggest disappointment? Nobody's good enough to beat them. I mean, are we just going to go ahead? Why don't we just cancel the rest of the season, give them the trophy, and let everybody else save a lot of money? I mean, these guys are so good, and it's amazing that there's not even anybody that can challenge them right now. That could make the playoffs boring.
Playoffs?
Yeah.
Question number 5.
It's the month of December and the weather down here can't decide if it wants to be hot or cold. Of all the games you've worked or attended in your career, which one stands out most because of weather?
Well, you know, there's still that high school football game I did in Port Sulphur, Louisiana back a long, long time ago. But since I've been covering UL, I'm going to go with a game at Cajun Field. It was the one in the second week of the season against Arkansas State a few years ago when they decided it was going to be the Sun Belt Conference game of the week. It was played at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The temperature was in the mid-90s. The turf was down in the field. It was 130 degrees on the field. You had 16 players that had to have IVs just at halftime, and they were worried seriously about Ricky Bussell even surviving that game. That is still, weather-wise, the craziest game I've ever covered.
LSU season opener 2004. They just won the national championship. They were playing Derek Anderson and the Oregon State Beavers. Crazy game. LSU won in overtime by a point, but game
was that the one where the guy couldn't kick an extra point?
Oh yeah, he missed 3 extra
All right.
points.
Got
But the game I think was supposed to start at 4, but there was this monsoon, this crazy storm, and the reason it's the wildest and most memorable is folks started going out on the field, and then folks started streaking. We're going streaking! I mean, I'll never forget the sight of this.
Were you
one
naked?
cat.
Did you get naked?
I did not go streaking.
Thank
No.
the Lord.
But I remember looking
Thank you,
at
baby
my parents and this friend of mine, this young lady who was with us, and I just looked over and her face was like, and then I look on the field and there's a big boy running around out there. So obviously the weather was nuts, the game was nuts, and I could make a bad joke there that I just realized I'm not going to do it. So
You didn't have to.
So to close
before we go any farther, before you close this and we just end it,
I was gonna
and we
make
say,
you do something.
next week, well, you can make me do something, but I'm going to do something first. You just mentioned your mom and dad. Happy birthday, Patty Prather.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Love you.
you. And you know what she said she wanted for her birthday from you?
What's that?
She wanted to see you. What's that? Dad
Dad wanted
She wanted to see you dab. Now,
The only thing I've ever dabbed in my life is back in my kid days when I used Brill cream and a little dabble do you. That's the only dabbing I've ever done, and it's the only dabbing I'm gonna do.
No.
That's
See,
it.
I just learned. RB just taught me today how to dab. Like Les Miles was dabbing the other day.
I know. I saw that.
So
I saw Frank Beaver dab.
So this
That's
is
just
how
bad.
you're supposed to be like something like that. So I probably didn't do it right because I just learned, but it's like you do a couple of moves and it's boom. So give me something.
Dab on Jay.
People love to see just old white guys dab.
Here, let me hit you again.
Ow.
We're done for Fast Five this week. I'm Jay. That's Scott. Bye.